All right, you guys, let's talk for just a few minutes about this week's assignment, the critique participation, and the report that goes with it that's due on Wednesday. And then obviously you guys have the final icon draft due on Saturday. Okay, so let's talk about Wednesday, the critique report. You guys haven't started on this yet. If you haven't already posted the draft of your icons into the VoiceThread critique, you need to do so Monday, first thing. There's a whole bunch of different points here that they want you to take into consideration for this project, and I'll let you review that on your own. But there's one that I want you to be really aware of, and that is right here. Under the VoiceThread critique participation, it says, participate on at least 3 different days. Well, if the report's due on Wednesday night, that means you have to participate Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right? Don't do it all in one day. Spread out your work and give yourself a little bit of a breather. If you're not sure exactly how to go about participating in the peer critique on VoiceThread, this link right here will give you a little bit of a video tutorial that will show you kind of what's expected and how to make it work really well for you. So that will help speed up the process for you. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see one final link, and it says under the VoiceThread critique report, download this template, okay? You'll click there and it will open you up, I already have it opened up, into a Google Doc. You'll copy this just like you did the project report, fill it all out, save it as a PDF, and this is the only thing that's required of you to submit on Wednesday's deadline, all right? But the whole thing has to be complete for me to give you credit. I read every single word, so make sure you read through this and respond very clearly to all of the questions. On the participation, I am looking through VoiceThread and double checking that everybody has participated, but I don't necessarily comment in that peer critique thread, and here's the reason why. I have found in past semesters that if I critique in that VoiceThread group for the icon set, that things kind of start to get real quiet. And I asked a couple students in past semesters why that was, and they were a little hesitant to tell me, but what they said is, I listened to your critique of another classmate's project, and after that I couldn't really think of anything to say. So my suggestion is this: I stay out of it so that you guys have a chance to give each other feedback and you don't feel like I'm in there judging what your critique is on other classmates' projects. But also I would recommend maybe not listening to the critique that other people give so that you're a little bit more open and using your own ideas and suggestions to give feedback to your classmates rather than just listening to everybody's feedback and then saying, oh yeah, I agree with so-and-so, okay? Before I sign off with this video, I wanted to talk to you really quickly about a couple of things that make really good critique, okay? The first thing is that when you receive critique, it's a little bit hard. This is a new thing, and this is work that you're doing your best on, and you may be feeling a little bit nervous because you might think that your work is inadequate. Let me tell you this, after more than 10 years of designing projects and things for clients and for my own business, it really doesn't get a whole lot easier to receive critique. But I have learned that when I set myself up to receive it with an open mind, then it's a little bit easier to take, okay? So the first thing that I do is, before I sit down and read critique, I get myself in the right headspace. I remind myself that the critique that I'm listening to is someone's perspective, and their perspective is based off of their experience, so of course it's going to differ from mine. With that said, I also take into consideration that I might listen to a set of critique and I might say, none of that applies. But then I remind myself, be open to what they're saying. So I listen to what they're saying and I look at my own work objectively as if I'm looking at it for the first time. Then I say, are any of these items actually going to assist me in making my project better than it was? Okay? Head into this whole entire thing with the perspective that you've already done good work, but that you know you weren't finished yet. And I know some of you are probably wishing that you were finished with it, but you're not done yet. Now we're in the process of making your good work and your great ideas even better. And doing that means that we look at it with a fresh set of eyes, okay? The second thing that I want to talk to you guys about when it comes to critique is that giving good critique kind of takes a couple of steps, okay? When you give good critique, that means that you're actually giving useful information that is going to help. Just looking at someone's project and saying, yeah, it looks good, or, ooh, those are pretty colors. That's nice, but that's a compliment. That's not critique or feedback. Giving feedback means that you give probably 1 or 2 things that you really see that they're doing well, And then you give a couple of statements or ideas of where you might see that things might need some additional work. That doesn't mean that what they've done is bad. It just might mean that you suggest that they make a few refinements. So you may say, I really like how you used your color palette across all of the icons. There was repetition in each icon, so colors popped up in multiple icons, so it really works together well. That said, it seems like the alignment is off a little bit in each icon. So for example, if I was drawing cute little animals and the eyes were never aligned the same in each set, then I might point that out and say, the eyes kind of seem a little bit misplaced in every single icon, and using that repetition in that aspect too might make the design a little bit more solid. Okay? That didn't say anything about, hey, your animals icons look ridiculous and I can't believe you're going to turn this in. Okay? So always think about a way to do that. The other thing that I've suggested to students when they do critique is that if you don't understand why they did something, instead of saying like, this makes no sense to me at all, ask for understanding. So you would say, hey, I noticed in your color palette that you've got kind of a complementary triad going, but that you also have a few kind of random colors. I'm not exactly sure how those tie in very well to the color palette, but I am wondering if you did that to create contrast or if you had another reason for including it the way that you did. When you ask in a way to understand, you give them the option to think through their decisions and not feel like they're taking a huge amount of negative comment back, okay? So if all else fails, if you can't think of a good way to pose it, ask for understanding. Why did you choose to not align things in all of your icons? Why did you choose to have some icons big and some small? And then say, I can see that there might be a reason for it. I'm just searching to understand, or to understand why you made that design decision, okay? So with that said, take a little bit of a breather, but get prepared to kind of do a little bit of work every day this week. Thursday and Friday, I'd recommend that you work on refining your set so that you're ready to turn that in, as well as including the project report parts 1 and 2 need to be filled out and PDF'd and submitted, okay, on Saturday night. So Thursday, Friday, you'll have that time. Check out the video on how to get feedback from me in Canvas on your assignments if you haven't already seen that or don't know how to do it. And I think from there, you guys are good to go.